What's up, everybody? One podcast now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about if GTA 6 could be announced during this summer Game Fest. If this could be the first time that we see the game. Just kind of have an overall discussion of if this is a possible thing, if this could possibly happen. Now, really quickly, I do just want to throw in there that I do have a second channel. I mainly talk just more about gaming news, just anything gaming on it. I'll link it in the description below. If you guys feel inclined to check it out, to subscribe there, it would mean a ton to me. I would definitely appreciate it. But okay, let's jump into this. So, I've seen this question be asked a lot. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people ask if this is possible. And to be honest with you guys, if you would have told me this, or if you would have asked me about this maybe a couple months ago, I would have said it's a very high possibility. Remember, a lot of the earlier on leaks, a lot of the earlier on rumors of GTA 6 is it's more done than we think, right? It's closer to completion than we all think. They've been working on it for a long time, and it could release as early as like fall of 2021. I don't think that many people it would have expected it, or still do, I guess, expected to come out in 2020. But 2021 seems like a realistic and still, even honestly, still possible time. I still think it's possible that GTA 6 could come out in the fall of 2021. I really do. I don't think it's the most guaranteed thing in the world, but I do think it's definitely a possibility. But now, fast forward to maybe a little bit less than a month ago, maybe around actually a month ago, where we got official confirmation that, hey, they're working on GTA 6, but it's in early development. Kind of pulling like the BioShock treatment, right? Where 2K announces okay, well, guess what? Or Take-Two, it doesn't actually matter which one because Take-Two does own 2K. But remember, they announced BioShock back, I believe, in December, where they said, okay, the cat's out of the bag. They're working on BioShock. They're going to be making BioShock, or they have been making it for a while now, but it's still a while off, and you're not going to see it. We're not going to talk about it. You're not going to hear about it for a while. Now, it wasn't necessarily the same thing for GTA, but they did say, hey, the game's being worked on. It's in early development. And remember, part of that kind of release that came out about it being in development and in early development is that they're working on the culture in Rockstar, mainly the whole game crunching, right? To figure out how to make a game without having to deal with crunches, which we've talked about. I've talked about how there's a lot of problems with that. We won't get into that right now. We can talk about that in different videos, or you guys, I'll link it at the end of this video. The video icon that will pop up at the end, I'll link it to that other GTA 6 video. We talked about it, or I talked about it there. That's kind of a completely other thing, but other people were saying, well, because of that, it could take even longer because they're not going to do, or at least the plan is to not do much of, or at all of game crunching. The game's not going to be out for a while. Now, again, does that mean that fall 2021 is completely out the window? Not necessarily. I mean, they could have said that and not necessarily mean it. It could be further along than even they're leading on to believe. In fall of 2021, it'll be 3 full years since Red Dead 2. That's quite a while. Now, Red Dead 2, I believe, didn't come out. It came out, I believe, 4 years after GTA 5. So it's possible this is a fall 2022 game. Either way, all right, it's either going to be, next year, 2021 or 2022, but probably late of either of those years. So is it a game that would be shown during the Summer Game Fest? Well, easy answer. I could have saved you guys a whole lot of time, but I wanted to lead into it. I really don't think so. That sucks. Again, if you would have asked me a while ago, I would have said yes. I truly think I would have said yes because we didn't really know where the game was along. There are people telling us that it's almost done. There are people telling us it could have come out in 2020. There are people telling us it could come out sometime in 2021. So when you have all those things going on, it's like, well, you know what? You could announce it. What's the problem with doing that? Now, Rockstar has a history of announcing their games and then releasing shortly after. They really don't have. They have a pretty fast lead up, right? Like the last couple months before a game, they'll do development diaries. They'll talk all about. They'll show it some stuff. They'll have people play it, all that kind of stuff, right? To get people pumped up. Not even you need to get people pumped up for Rockstar games, but they do it, right? However, they don't have the longest, section in between them. So when you announce it to when they release it, there isn't that long. It's not like they announce something and then the release is 2 years from now. And that's the biggest thing. See, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, they do that. That's basically what first parties do because they're trying to get you interested in their game before it comes out, long before it comes out, because they have to sell hardware. They have to sell systems. It doesn't matter if Take-Two, or if in this case, because Take-Two owns Rockstar, but Rockstar is the publisher, and that's important to note as well. Remember this. Jeff Keighley has the phases, right? We know the summer, and he's a great guy. I'm not like going after Jeff Keighley or anything, but Summer Game Fest, we don't know how many phases there's going to be. There could be 2, there could be 3. Some people even think there could be 4. We know phase 1. We don't know the dates for them yet. I guess some of them we do know, but most of them we don't. We don't know the dates, but we know who's taking part of it. And if you look, Rockstar is not there. Now 2K is, but 2K is separate. 2K publishes the Mafia games. 2K publishes the Borderlands games. Right there, that's them. Okay, so Rockstar themselves, Rockstar Games, they are the publishers of their games. So L.A. Noire, remember when the L.A. Noire VR file game came out? That was them. They published that. They published Red Dead Redemption 2. They published GTA 5. So GTA 6 would be Rockstar. So why did I say that? Well, again, if they're not on that phase 1 list, GTA is not showing up. You could say, well, maybe it would show up with a Sony thing, maybe it would show up with a Microsoft thing. I just really don't think you would do that. And again, the biggest piece of evidence I can point to is they're not a company that does that. They're not a company that, because if you announce it now, say you announce it June 1st, but it doesn't come out for another 2 years, even 2 years, 2.5 years, even you could say, that's an extremely, extremely long time. I really don't think they do that. Almost nobody does that. The only ones that do that, Nintendo almost doesn't even do that. Nintendo sometimes will give like a year and a half. Right, last year we know that The Legend of Zelda, like Breath of the Wild 2, is in development, but that game probably won't even come out till next year. So even that game is around 2 years. But games like Mario Kart, even just Mario games in general, they announce it and then they come out within like 6 to 12 months. Sony and Microsoft, like Halo Infinite, we've known about for a very long time. The Last of Us Part 2, by the time we get to play it next month, it'll have already been known to exist for 3.5 years, which is one of the longest times I can think of that happening, right? Because but to give them credit, they basically announced The Last of Us Part 2 with that trailer. They basically announced it right when they started. So they've been working on it for like 4-ish years, and we've known about it for almost 4 years. As in the game development time. That's just how they handle that. But you see that all the time with them. But I guess, again, Sony kind of stretches it even further. But for a studio like Rockstar, and again, you compile everything, right? Rockstar is not on phase 1. So it can't be in phase 1. Maybe you could say, well, if Rockstar is on phase 2, then maybe, you know what? I would say then I guess you have more evidence to go off of. I would also say to maybe hold off, to try and give this video more life to it, right? So it can last more than just a couple days or a couple weeks. If Rockstar were to appear on other phases of Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, I would argue it would be for like a next-gen version of either GTA Online or Red Dead 2. That's what I would think they would be announcing. I don't think they'd be announcing a GTA 6. I really don't. Again, they're in early development. That sucks to hear. Are they lying about that? Is it further than even they're saying? Could be. I do think it's further along than quote-unquote, or it depends on what you think. Is early development like the middle? I get, like, it literally means early. It's not the middle. It's not the end. But, like, how many years have they been making it? How many years in all do they expect to make it? You know what I mean? So, I mean, different people can have different interpretations of what that means. So while it does suck, I guess you could maybe, if you twist it enough, maybe you can make yourself feel better about it. But at the same time, I just think because it's in early development, because Rockstar is not on the Summer Game Fest, at least phase 1, again, they could appear in further phases, and also just because, flat out, it's not releasing this year. We know that, right? Everybody's, I think, on the same page that there's no way GTA 6 releases this year. With that being said, I think if it did release this fall, if it released this October, or this September, or this November, I think they would announce it now. I really do. But because this is a year or 2 year thing away, I think next year, if E3 does, E3 is confirmed to come back next year. If it actually happens, remains to be seen. But when we get closer to E3 next year, that's a discussion we would have, right? That, I think, is infinitely more likely that it happens next E3 than right now. And then if it doesn't happen then, the year after, 2022, I think is a slam dunk guarantee, right? There's no way it goes on further than that, right? I think a lot of us would probably riot if that happens. So, kind of bad news. I like to try and remain on the optimistic side when I talk about games in general. I know, but again, I've seen a lot of people ask about GTA. I feel like this is something that would kind of go around the gaming industry if it's possible. I think the Game Fest is going to be big. I know Inside Xbox started off very, very slow, but I think Game Fest is going to be huge. I think there's going to be E3, like huge, like massive announcements you would normally get at these shows. I just don't think this is the year for GTA. Again, if if they didn't come out and say that it's an early development and they're working on the crunch culture and all that kind of stuff, if they didn't say that, I would have probably said it. Maybe this year is the year for it. But now we didn't know then what we know now, right? So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think this game is a possibility to be shown at the Summer Game Fest? When do you think this game is going to release? All that stuff, let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I truly appreciate it, and I hope to see you all on the next video.